1, 2, 3, 4! From the Riffs!
Welcome to From the Riffs. I'm Carmen Belair. Big Will's not here today because it's the last day of the Palladium Open House and he had to leave early. Excuse my voice, it's kind of cracking because it's been a long convention and it's been a hoot. So I've been yelling and screaming and that. My name's Carmen Belair, like I said, and this is Wayne Smith. He's the editor for Palladium, Kevin's right-hand man, and, you know, not much gets done if he doesn't be part of it. And we've got him here for a few 10 minutes to tell us what he's thought of the open house, you know, what he thinks about being the, you know, the backbone of Palladium and, you know, his responsibilities and all that. So we'll give him a couple minutes to introduce yourself and, you know, how you got into this and your responsibilities.
Which do you want first? I'm Wayne Smith. I'm an editor at Palladium Books. We're a small company staff-wise, so that's, you know, a simple title for an awful lot of hats that I wear.
Yeah, because you manage the computers and
I'm the
fix
computer guy.
Things and you edit the Rifter and
editor-in-chief of the Rifter, editor on everything else.
Yep. So you have a ton of responsibilities. Now, what have you had to do for the open house to make sure that this got off? Because I mean, there was a lot of behind-the-scenes work to get it off the ground.
Yeah, most of my responsibilities ahead of time, anyway, have been in organizing the events and scheduling them and interfacing with various game masters with questions or special needs or concerns or whatever. And then during the show itself, I'm mostly the problem solver, or any, you know, if anybody has a question about anything, or if some problem comes up, any minor issues or
Last minute schedules, I know she changed a
schedule
lot.
changes. Yeah, can you add me a game? Can you move my game to this or that, or you know, from that sort of thing all the way to, you know, we can't find any batteries, or, you know, where's whatever.
All the small crap that has to be done or it's going to fall apart.
Right. We have several great volunteers every year, and this year was no exception. But, you know, they're coming in from outside, and so they don't, you know, not working here day to day. They, you know, there will be questions that somebody who works here has to have, you know, we're going to know the answer to.
They don't know where the hammer is.
Right.
They don't know where any toilet paper is.
Thing, so.
all the little things.
And so it boils down to I don't have to go looking for things to do because every time I show my face in the warehouse, I hear my name.
There's a flock of problems coming your way.
I hear my name, or I hear, there he is. So, I solve problems that come to me.
Did you get to do anything fun? Did you get to play in any game, or did you just have to work 24/7?
Not 24/7. I mean, there were lulls. There were, you know, there were times when I just got to sit at the door, or you know, man a register. And so it wasn't
crazy then.
It wasn't crazy all the time. Just many brief spurts of craziness.
So, although it's a lot of work, do you still like doing it? Like, is it enjoyable even with the work?
Yes. It
wow.
Really
Let's stretch that yes out a lot. There's a lot of extra meaning in that one.
It really is a lot of fun. Much like any convention.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun, but it's exhausting. And you can hear my voice. I haven't been shouting, running games like you. I've just been talking to people. And strange as it sounds, just talking to people and being friendly, and it sounds funny, but it's exhausting to be friendly. It's exhausting just, you know, talking to people nonstop, especially since, you know, all those people in the warehouse, in one room, it's noisy. You're talking more loudly than you're used to, and it really does wear you out.
Yeah.
And it's sort of nonstop. Yeah.
And you didn't, you haven't gone home like after everyone's done here every time, because I've seen you around the hotel and stuff, relaxing with guys and still talking later into the night before you got up and made it here first thing again before everybody else got here.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the guys I saw you talking with, they didn't bother coming here first thing in the morning, and you had to.
Some of them were here early, but I noticed several significant names strolling in well after I did.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, wow, he's here right away. Boy, I didn't see anybody you were talking with it come in right away.
Some of them were soon after, very soon after. Yeah,
but
to their credit.
So, but you do enjoy it, and then
absolutely, I enjoy it.
All right.
Yeah.
We've never got to have you on from the Riffs yet. So, can you just setting the open house aside for a minute? Can you tell us the stuff that you have to do as your day-to-day chores for like being editor of the Rifter and even the regular editing? Like, what does that entail? Because like anyone who wants to, like we did with all the writing ones, you basically heard over and over. If you want to write for Palladium, send something to the Rifter. If you like it and it gets in, that maybe that's the way to get in. But what does that entail on your end? Because you must get some, a lot of stuff to sift through, and then. Like, how do you tell, like, okay, this one's good enough for the Rifter, but it's not good enough to go beyond the Rifter. This one here is just so horrible, I'm not even going to put it in the Rifter. This one here, okay, he needs some work, and I can touch it up a little bit, and it's good to go. Like, how do you make those decisions? Is it always on you? Do you ever pass the buck?
Those are some big questions.
Yeah. Well, and it's what people want to know about you because you are the one. I mean, the first thing if somebody wants to send something to Palladium, you're the guy at the doorway. The first stuff has to get by you before Kevin ever is going to look at it or see about it. So, how hard is that doorway to get walked through?
Generally, that's true. Although, not always. I mean, Kevin does run across things or, open mail and, something catches his eye. So sometimes it doesn't go through me. He brings it to me. But, generally that's true. I receive submissions. And in theory, I'm looking through them all the time. And that's but in reality, that's a part of my job that happens when it comes time to mostly when it comes time to put together an issue, because I'm kept so busy most of the time with the regular editing of other books, maintaining the website, putting out fires in our day-to-day lives, not just the open house, and doing all my other duties, that most of my Rifter sorting of submissions and filtering through them is done about every 3 months when it comes time to put together another issue. And that's when I most intensively, search through what I've got, what I've received, and try to pick a few things that look good, that look clean as far as easy to need, that need as little work as possible. Excuse me, and then I try to, as I pick, one thing to, a thing for riffs, a thing for fantasy, and a thing for heroes. I try to get a good mix, so I'm not just, putting out 96 pages of riffs material, as good as it might be, or so I don't have too big short stories, or a couple of things that are too similar, or just all the same kind of material. I try to make a good mix, and so that sometimes overrules the writing quality for that issue, and then gets bumped back.
And you have to work a little harder to tweak it and to get it in there.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes the content and the type of submission that it is warrants the extra work just to make a better issue.
I know you end up with a lot of riffs content. Is there other lines that you look for, like kind of that'll float to the top because they're not as much content for those?
Well, I am always looking for good fantasy material.
Okay.
And it's partly because it's it's not something we get a lot for, but it's also because I'm well aware that we don't, at least in the past, there are long stretches between fantasy books.
So it's better to have some in the Rifter.
And so and I realize that, we all realize that, but since I'm the editor-in-chief of the Rifter, and I get to do a book every 4 times a year, with whatever people send me that I can find to put in it. I kind of take it upon myself to give them something for fantasy.
All right.
I know you guys are out there, and I do what I can.
All right. Well, so that kind of covers the Rifter. The other major thing I noticed you seem to do around here is that since you've went from the old style of book layout to the new electronic style, you seem to cover all the laying out of the final book,
Yes.
more or less. How does that go? Like, do you basically decide where all the stuff, the pictures are going to be laid out and the look of the book now, or does Kevin still have any input, or is it just here you go, your job?
Yes, absolutely. Generally, for the Rifter, there are set illustrations for specific articles. Because all the articles are chosen. Essentially, the book is written, not edited, but written before the art is assigned. So every piece of art, in theory,
Has something to go with.
It has a place that it goes. And so I do all the layout. Kevin has final say. He looks at the pages, and if there's anything he doesn't like, we'll move things around. He'll make a change every now and then. With a regular book, sometimes it goes the same way, but more often there are specific places he has in mind for certain things, certain ways he wants to do this section or this this headline or whatever. And so he'll take a more active role as far as he'll sit there next to me as I'm laying out a certain section. I don't know where I was going there, but he'll take a more active role, and sometimes he'll be there for practically the whole book. Put this art here and do this and that.
And the rest of the time, basically, you cover it, and you end up.
Yeah, well, I do all of the work, but sometimes he's right there guiding me, and sometimes it's after the fact if there's anything major that needs to be changed.
All right. And so that kind of sums up. The rest of the stuff you do is, the mundane. My computer is down, I got to fix it, and that kind of stuff. So you don't really need to go over that. So that basically covers everything. That's a good enough questions. It gives you guys, anyway, an idea of who Wayne Smith is and what he does here, what he thought of the Palladium Open House. And, I know he's sometimes a little camera shy, so we got him to sit down. And,
elusive, I like to think.
Yeah,
elusive.
That looks a little better. He likes the name elusive, I guess, better than camera shy, but whatever. That was From the Riffs. I'm Carmen Belair.
Wayne Smith.
There you go.
I don't mind.
And this was From the Riffs. Do us a favor, like the videos, subscribe, and please click on the ads because we're hoping to get another camera, and the ads are going to help pay for that. So that'll be it. From the Riffs. See you later.